Check it out. I have started building another tea bucket. And I'm having fun with it. This one is going together smoothly so far. But it's going to be the same MO as the first build. It's a Speedway Motors bare frame, Speedway Motors fiberglass tub. They're calling this one a 25 for some reason instead of a 23. And it has a door. For no other reason than the version that had a door was slightly cheaper than the one that didn't have a door. But check it out. It's going together. Man, have I got a lot of work ahead of me. But let me give you the full tour. We'll start at the back here. So we've got the 70s Jaguar rear end. This one has 354 rear gears, and it has their power lock posi in it, which is neat. It is hanging off of a perch that I've got welded to the back of the frame. That was an idea that was in my head that I wanted to try. And then it's also got a transverse leaf spring for the rear suspension. That is not done yet, and that's a work in progress. 1950 Pontiac taillights. It's got a high mount third brake light off of a Harley Bagger. Let's see. My very highly custom and precision painter's tape offset Euro stripe. The wheels on this one are made by a company called Vision. I think they turned out pretty cool. They're similar design to the American Racing that I had on build 1. The windows are slightly bigger on it. The back spacing is more, so it doesn't have as deep of a dish. But yeah, I think it'll look good on there. Very simple bench seat. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think I'm going to put a little like cup holder center section right directly in the middle to kind of keep your butt in place from sliding around. The fuel tank is under the cowl, and I'm sure a far more talented fabricator could have made a more graceful tank that utilized the space better than the universal spun aluminum tank that I have in there, but it'll work. The steering gear is from a mid-50s GM full-size car. It's got I think a 16-to-1 ratio, as opposed to the first build had a 24-to-1 ratio. Maybe it'll be too quick, I don't know. Maybe it'll have too much resistance, I don't know. But I'll tell you what, that 24-to-1 is almost no fun to drive. Although easy steering, but boy, a lot of steering wheel movement just barely turns the car. We've got my transmission K-member in there. My 3 pedals. I think that turned out pretty cool. Real simple electronics. Everything is mounted under the seat. So the switches is just a keyed ignition, a pull headlight, and an on-off-on toggle for turn. And the fuse panel, the relays, the starter solenoid, the battery, the EFI controller, everything is underneath that bench seat on the frame. You can see the kick-up of the frame is inside the body, and the bench seat's resting on the kick-up, and that worked out far better than I could have anticipated. So I'm really thankful that that's working out so far. The digital dash. You see, because the fuel tank is under the cowl and upright against the back of the dash, I didn't have enough depth for gauges. So I had this idea to run a digital dash. It is powered by a Raspberry Pi 5. It's running the full version of Tuner Studio, and it is reading the live data off of the EFI controller that's mounted underneath the seat. In fact, it was, but now it decided to go offline, and that'll be a problem to figure out when I'm much further along in the build. Center fill, flip cap that I still have to figure out. This is something that I wish I could go back in time and stop myself from doing. Although the fitment of it, having this boss fits real nicely right in the cowl here. I don't know. It was one of those things where I had the parts, I figured it would be easy and simple, and I could watch the fuel level as I'm filling it from outside of the car, and then just kind of keep in mind on it when you're getting in and out of the car, instead of seeing the fuel level from the driver's seat. But it feels weird having a very simple mechanical fuel level gauge and then having a digital dash on the inside. So I will figure that all out later. We've got my masters mounted, the radiator, the grill, the cooling fan. The grill is two 32 Ford Repop steel grills that have been cut in half and sectioned real short, and then one top half was flipped upside down and then welded together to make the one grill shell. And I think that turned out pretty cool. Lights are 32 Ford. They are non-integral turn, but I'm going to convert them to integral turn. The front leaf spring was a decision I made this morning, and I'm going to run with it, is to mount it on top of the perch. And I cut away the perch a bit to fit the leaf spring, but I still have to support it with gussets and find some beefier hardware, since it's going to be the whole suspension load is going to be super dependent on the U-bolts, so those are going to get stepped up beefy. But I think that'll turn out okay. That whole front end is borrowed off of bucket number 1 right now. It'll go back together soon, don't worry. Yeah, but the frame has been shortened 12.5 inches. The wheelbase is shorter than bucket number 1, but the engine compartment, the space between the cowl and the radiator, is 2 inches more than what's on bucket number 1. But yeah, I am having fun with it. And the whole goal here is just to have a clean little street cruiser that's still as fun to drive as bucket number 1, but hopefully doesn't beat you up as violently. And all of the lessons that I learned from putting number 1 together, I'm applying into putting number 2 together, like putting the electronics underneath the seat instead of under the dash. Well, thanks for checking out my build, and I hope you stay tuned to keep an eye on updates and progress and ideas. So yeah, thanks for checking it out. I'll see you soon.